Well, across our broadcast regions, there's been a focus on the production of protein grain pulses. And this is something that the demand for products such as meat-free burgers and dairy alternatives has surged in the past few years, attracting food majors like Nestle's, Unilever and Cargill. It's interesting that in Donald and regional Victoria, they make at the Eatwell factory a range of meat-free burgers. The trend for this to occur is continuing, as a survey from Roy Morgan last year found that 2.5 million Australians, about 12%, were either entirely or mostly vegetarian, and that in 2020 Australia's supermarket chains reported over 50% growth in sales of plant-based protein products. In a recent report by Deloitte Access Economics, it estimates Australia's plant-based segment would grow to $3 billion by 2030, and there are separate research projects that say it could even be double that by 2030, up from $185 million last year. The US major agribusiness company in Bunge has agreed to invest $45.7 million in the Horsham Australian plant proteins factory, and the Australian firm is a leading producer of protein isolate powders that are extracted from pulses like faba beans, yellow peas, mung beans, chickpeas and lentils, and currently operates a 2,500-tonne processing facility in Horsham. According to the leader of that organisation, Brendan McKeon, he said that under the deal, Bunge would get a minority stake in APP as well as exclusive distribution rights to the Americas. In turn, the Aussie producer will more than double its processing capacity to 6,000 tonnes by March 2022. And currently, 3/4 of its produce is sold domestically, which is 75%, but given the strong overseas demand and the potential for using its protein powders in a wide range of foods like meat and milk alternatives, baked goods, some protein bars and supplements, APP expects to reverse the proportion in coming years, with just a quarter of its production going through the local market and exporting significantly more. It's a market potential other companies are also keen on developing. Commodities giant GrainCorp, for one, believes it has a natural advantage in the burgeoning plant-based food industry. One only has to take a look at Donald's Pico plant, and an enormous amount of lentils and chickpeas and so forth go to export markets from that location. So one would even begin to suggest that we could see an increase in demand both domestically for these products, but also the ability to produce them and then export them. I mean, that's what we want to do, value add here rather than send it in its raw state overseas.